Welcome to this edition of the BRSN Insider. I'm signing out with men's basketball coach Ryan Moody. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Appreciate you having me again.
You guys are 7-2, 4-0 in conference, riding a 6-game winning streak. Just talk about the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we've played really well. I'll credit our defense first and foremost. I thought we've defended and held some people under their averages. We've really dug in and tried to do what we do really well, and that's defend inside the three and make people shoot it and then go rebound it. And I think we've done a really good job of that. Tried to control possession a little bit. You know, and to be honest with you, the shots have been falling for us on the offensive side. We've made some threes. We haven't shot it great from the free throw line, but we've clicked a little bit. And I think the biggest factor, the two biggest factors, are defense and then sharing the basketball.
Yeah.
And depth has shown to be an asset for us as well in this little bit of run here. So, you know, we're excited. We're not really thinking back too much, but we're definitely moving forward and we're playing with some confidence.
You guys went to Fayette on Tuesday. That game got moved back a day due to the blizzard. You guys won that one by 5. Just talk about that game and how important of a win that was for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great experience to get out on the road against a nationally ranked team, somebody that's 7-1 and clearly has a lot of talent, great coach, and a tough place to play. And I thought our guys battled, you know, from start to finish. We just kind of hung in there, executed the game plan, not perfectly, but pretty darn good for where we were at. And once again, we knocked down some shots, made some plays at the end. We made some mistakes at the end that we can learn from, clearly, in a tight game. But, you know, we hung in there. We made the free throws when we needed to. And once again, depth really showed its head there. You know, the guys came off the bench, gave us 22 points. I think we had a really balanced scoring attack.
Yeah, you guys had 5 guys in double figures. Talk about the balance and how that's helped you guys so far this year.
You know, since we've been here, you know, I guess this is the 8th season. When we've been at our best, we haven't really had, you know, a 20-point-a-game guy. We've had, you know, 4 or 5 guys right around that 10, maybe a couple at 13, 14, and then a few at 6 and 7. And all of a sudden now you're looking at 75, 80 points a game. And that's trust and believing in each other and allowing each other to make a play, and not worrying about whether you got the shot. And this group's really bought into that. They care for each other. They care that the other guy's having success, regardless of whether they're coming off the bench or starting. And it's worked up to this point, and I really hope we can continue that. We're going to hit a speed bump at some point, but you know, I think this group will battle through it, and we really share the ball, and it's fun to watch.
You guys play Grandview tonight. What have you seen from them on tape?
They're really good. I mean, their record is a little deceiving. They had 2 6'10", 6'9", 6'11" transfers come in from Drake University this year, and both those guys have been a little banged up. They did not play in the first couple of league games that they had, so their league record is deceiving. They're huge. You know, they're going to start 6'11", 6'9", 6'5", and then a couple of guards, and they bring another 6'8", 6'6", or something off the bench. So we're going to have our hands full tonight, and they've typically played a really fast pace. This year, you know, with that size, they're not. They're really trying to pound it inside, and we're going to have to find a way to take away the lane. We're going to have to find a way to rebound with them. And I think it's the thing that maybe scares me the most, or not scares me, but the thing that we've got to focus on is making sure we can score against them, because that size is going to be hard to score against them at the rim. So we'll need to knock down some shots, and our guys will need to be aggressive and confident. But they're good. They're a good team.
And you get Clark on Saturday. 3rd game of the week. Talk about that game and the 3 games in a week.
Yeah, the 3 games is it's tough as a coach. I can't imagine as a player. You know, they're grinding. That's a lot of minutes in the short time frame. You know, we like you said, we moved the game from Monday to Tuesday, so we're going Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. 3 games in 5 days is brutal. But I think our guys will battle. I'm really confident, and I know the guys are in our conditioning and our strength and conditioning with Coach Allwoodell getting our guys ready. You know, we don't back down in practice. We keep practicing pretty hard every day. So the Clark game will be fun. Once again, another good opponent. Will really challenge us in our building. The 3rd game in 5 days is quite the challenge as well.
And then the snowstorm is also a part of that. Talk about all of that as well.
Yeah, it's exciting. You know, it's the snowstorm, the annual snowstorm game. It's Christmas at BC. You know, we've got Santa and Rocky the Elf, and we'll have some contests. And then, of course, on the 12th point, which stands for the 12 days of Christmas, then everybody fires toilet paper onto the floor and has a good time with it, actually throws it up into the air, makes it look like a snowstorm, and it should be a good time. You know, we considered moving the game. You know, our football team plays in the semifinal in Salina, and congrats to you guys for getting that far, and good luck. We'll all be cheering for you. But when everybody kind of got together and thought about it, our administration, we just decided, you know, we'll just leave the game in the game time. So we'll probably have a few people giving us updates on that game and still trying to focus on the snowstorm.
And 4 games into conference play and getting near break, what have you seen from the rest of the conference?
I mean, it's tough. I think that there's a lot of parity. William Penn is just really talented. We've got a chance to watch them on film. They're big. They're very deep, very talented. They'll be a challenge every single night for everybody. But I think the rest of us are kind of just pretty equal. And we've squeaked out a couple, but I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of separation. I'm hopeful. You never know with injuries and some other things that could pop up. But if we can continue to get better, I think we can fight to be where we want to be at the end. But the league's tough. I mean, it's early. 4 games in, it's awfully early. But I think you'll start to see separation in January and February. But even the guys that maybe aren't that good right now, that can change. And so can't take anything lightly.
And then next week, December 5th, you guys go down and play Rockers. Talk about how all this came about and kind of the history between Benedictine and Rockers.
I'm glad you gave us a chance to talk about it. I mean, the Rockers-Benedictine rivalry goes back, 93, 94 years, or sort of 52 years, I guess. 94 times in 52 years we've played. And, when we were both NAI schools, it was twice a year, big-time crowds, huge rivalry. The two Catholic schools in the region battling it out. Great teams. I mean, Rockers won a national title, and Benedictine won a national title kind of in the same 5-year period back in the early or late 60s, early 70s. So this was a big rivalry. It was a big rivalry when I played back in the early 90s. And it's petered off a little bit because they went NCAA Division II, and we just scheduling-wise haven't had a chance to play them. So we decided to get it going. The head coach and I down there, Coach Diener, he wants to play it. We're excited about it. We're hoping to fill it up. The first game is going to be down there. We're hopeful this continues for the next couple of years, but we're excited to get down there and add to that tradition with this group because the current players and the current students at Benedictine don't know anything about that rivalry. So we're going to try to give them a little history lesson and try to go down there and have some fun. But we've got some business to take care of this weekend first. Take a day off, and then we'll get ready for that one.
All right, Coach, best of luck to you tonight.
Thanks, Dakota.
Benedictine men's basketball coach Ryan Moody on the BRSN Insider.
A wise man once said, "The world offers you comfort, but you were not made for comfort. You were made for greatness." Discover what you were made for. Benedictine College, where greatness begins.
This time, saying with women's basketball coach Chad Folsom. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You guys are sitting at 4-4 right now. Just your thoughts on the season up to this point.
Well, we started off really strong, and then we ran into some tough teams the last couple games with Mid-American Nazarene, Central Methodist, and came up short on both of those. But I think we're continuing to improve and get better at what we're doing.
You guys played CMU on Tuesday. That game got moved back, and they're the number 11 team in the country on the road. Just talk about that game.
They're a very athletic team. They lost a lot from last year, but they reloaded with a lot of transfers, and they do a great job at attacking the basket. I thought the first half we were down 12 at half, and not doing some things well. Though the second half we battled back, which was good. We got back to a 3-point game. But again, the biggest keys in that game is we didn't rebound. We gave up 22 offensive rebounds, so we forced them to shoot the ball. They shot a low percentage second half, but we gave them second shots and third shots, and then we didn't capitalize at the free throw line. And that's a tough thing too. We missed 14 free throws, and you lose by 10. So there's opportunities there that we let get away. So we're not far off, but we got to be able to get over that hump.
What were some of the things that got you guys back into the game in that third quarter?
Defensive intensity picked up. I thought we were getting stops and rebounds. We were running a little bit more. We got into some transition and some opportunities to attack. We hit a few outside threes, which helped as well. So I think we just got back into a little bit of rhythm offensively and weren't on our heels and got ourselves back in it. But then, like I said, we won 1 or 2 possessions here or there. They hit a big banked-in three-pointer late, and that put it back to 5 or 6, whatever it was. And so we'll keep getting better.
You guys play Grandview at home tonight. What have you seen from them?
Grandview is a team that plays really hard. They went to the national tournament last year. They've got a lot of pieces back from that team. Yeah. They play well together, and they're a scrappy bunch. They really play aggressive defense and try to turn you over and create easy scoring opportunities.
And you play Clark on Saturday, third game in 5 days. Just talk about that game and then what it's like for the girls who play 3 games in 5 days.
Clark's another good squad. Clark's been up at the top of the conference as well, and they're a rebounding squad. They're actually averaging 25 offensive boards a game. So if we don't figure out boxing out by then, we could have a long night. But they're going to be a good squad too. So yeah, 3 games in 5 days. It's tough, but you got to manage your bodies, and everybody's getting in the same boat here with 3 games in this week. So
yeah,
making sure you're staying rested, but also getting better and improving on things from game to game.
And then just talk about the rest of the conference so far. I mean, we're really early on in the conference season, but talk about what you've seen from the rest of the conference.
I think there's a lot of balance this year. There's a lot of good teams this year on the women's side, and a lot of close games. A lot of teams. Evangel beat Central Methodist, and Baker and Peru State went to double overtime, and there's a lot of good teams. I think they've all gotten a lot better. I don't know if there's one dominating team, right now, but I do think there's a lot of good teams, and you got to be ready to play every night.
And okay, you guys get to go to Hawaii, but you guys have a couple games in between them there. But the trip to Hawaii on the 18th and 19th, talk about that, and then talk about how all that came about.
We're excited. We every 2 or 3 years we take our team on a trip somewhere. Through fundraising efforts, we're able to go somewhere. So last time we went to Puerto Rico. This time we're going to go to Hawaii, and we're going to leave on the 16th, which is going to be an exciting time. We're going to play 2 games when we're there. We're playing 2 really good teams: John Brown, University of Arkansas, and then Rio Grande from Ohio. They're an NAI Division two team that's ranked right now. So there'll be 2 good teams we'll play when we're there. But while we're there, we're also going to do a lot of sightseeing and seeing things. So we went 12 years ago with our team, and we snorkeled. We'll climb Diamond Head. We'll be 2 blocks from Waikiki Beach. We'll get to see Pearl Harbor. We'll go up to the North Shore. We're going to go to a luau. So we'll get to experience a lot of things, which I think will be great memories and experiences for our team this year.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck to you tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Women's basketball coach Chad Folsom on the BRSN Insider.
Shakespeare once said, "Some are born great, and some have greatness thrust upon them. The rest of us," he said, "have to achieve greatness." We know exactly what he means. Be not afraid of greatness. Achieve it. Benedictine College, where greatness begins.
Back on this edition of the BRSN Insider, I'm sitting down with the Director of Cross Country and Track and Field, Henry Brun. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You guys just wrapped up cross country season. You guys went up to nationals. Talk about the whole nationals experience and what you saw up there.
It was a good experience for the 9 athletes that we brought up. On the women's side, Sarah and Mel, I'm really excited to be there. Sarah, it's her first time going to a national championship or a big caliber meet.
Yeah.
So it was a good experience for her, and just kind of getting her feet wet with how the top of the NAI kind of looks in a race, any type of race. For Mel, she had a really good weekend. She went last year as a freshman, as an individual. And I think her freshman year she got 230th place out of 350. And then this time around she ended up getting 49th, which is a huge improvement. Yeah. She was number 1 in the heart for the conference finishing. She's now the number 4 runner all time for the women's program. And I believe she was the 5th or 6th best sophomore in the entire meet. So she had a great weekend. On the guy side as a team, second time going as a team. Yeah. And we kind of just went in with the expectations of having a good, fresh race and just seeing what we got. Yeah. We were ranked like 30th going in. I think we finished 31st as a team, which is great. It's the highest that our team's finished, even though we've only gone a couple times. Yeah. Some of the highlights there, John Danner ran an excellent race. He was one of the top 5 heart finishers out there too. And he ran a time that was maybe a second off of the all-time cross-country time. So he's number 2 all-time on the list in his last collegiate race, cross-country-wise. Then the men's top 5 average was the best average we ever had in school history. Yeah. So it was a fun experience for him.
And then you transition right into track. You got a couple weeks over break. Just talk about the transition, how practices are going.
So for the cross-country kids, they're on a break. They get a couple weeks off. They won't race until next week at Northwest Missouri State, right before Christmas break. So they won't be going to our first indoor competition. But the track and field athletes who've been preseason training all fall, they're chomping at the bit to get on the track and compete. They're really, really excited. The things that we've seen going into Thanksgiving break and even this first week back out of Thanksgiving break leading up to this meet tomorrow, it's looking really, really promising for us early on.
So what are you seeing on the women's side, like returners and some of the ladies you brought in?
So on the women's side, we've got Maddie Minute returning. She was a 2-time All-American in the multis. Yeah. She's just going to go and do some high jump. We're going to work some technical stuff throughout the indoor season a little bit, some different events to improve on. And our multis all together, her, Camille, and Shelly, they're going to be some workhorses for us within the conference.
Yeah.
On the sprint side, we're bringing in Talia Rawls, who's Jarrell Rawls' little sister. And she's going to fill that void that we lose with Kashonda Rose graduating.
Yeah.
So that's going to be good for us to kind of pick up where we left off in the short sprints there.
Yeah.
Then we've got a couple good freshman 400 runners. We've got Ashley Wertenberger, who's from the Kansas City area, who did really well her senior year last year in high school. And, I mean, we've got a couple of returners who are coming in, too, from our women's 4x4, who I think will be big contributors. And then Serena Parker's our returning conference champ in the shot put, and I think she's looking to go to nationals this year.
And then what are you seeing on the men's side?
On the men's side, it's some guys who got a little banged up last year who I think are going to be healthy.
Yeah.
Joseph Butler, who's a junior for us, I think he's going to be a big force for us in the short sprints. His goal, he was, 200ths of a second away from going to the national championships last year. Yeah. Then he had a knee injury, and he wasn't able to run the outdoor season. But he's healthy now. He's going to be able to go. Jarrell Rawls is a senior, and he made it to the national championships in the 4x1 last spring, and he's looking to go back in an individual event in the 400. Then we pick up a couple freshmen that are really good. So Austin Myrna, who's from Wichita, he's a really good short sprinter and also high jumper, long jumper, and he's going to be able to help us in a lot of different areas. We pick up Kwame Perry, who's from that area as well, in Wichita, and he's a good short sprinter. And then we still have Jeremiah Keneally, who is a junior on the team, and he was a multi-athlete for us last year and this year. And he was only a couple spots out of the national championships last year, so he's looking to do well this year.
You guys go down to KU tomorrow. How many athletes are you taking, and what are your expectations for tomorrow?
So we're not taking any of the distance runners, but we are taking the majority of the sprinters, jumpers, hurdlers, throwers.
Yeah.
And they're going to get their feet wet. Everyone's going to do one event. It's a close meet. There's some entry limitations as far as how many we can put in each event.
Yeah.
So we're going to give everybody an event to get out there and kind of just compete a little bit before Christmas break. I'm really just expecting to see some consistency in the competition we have tomorrow from what we see in the practices we've had the last few weeks. And just making sure that we kind of, for those who competed last year and kind of getting back into it again this year, getting the rust off. And then for the freshmen, it's kind of shaking the nerves a little bit. Because as competitive as they may be in the Heart of America this year, and even maybe at the national level, that first meet is really nerve-wracking, understanding that you're competing against some of the best in college at all levels. Because at the KU meet, there's going to be Division I, D2, D3, NAIA, junior college, semi-professional, club people, and unattached athletes all running. So, you're going out there, and it's a little bit different vibe than the high school level. So.
All right, Coach. Thank you for joining us. Best of luck to you tomorrow.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Director of Cross Country and Track and Field, Henry Brun, on the BRSN Insider.